Okay, awesome. Okay, so let me get this. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Light Language Journey Within. And today I'm really excited to say that I have Veronica here with us.
Hello.
Officially, welcome, Veronica.
Thank you. My dog is clapping and listening.
Yes. Is that a he or she? So cute.
It's she. Yeah,
She?
she looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, but it's she.
Actually, yeah, she actually does because I thought she looked familiar when I first saw her. What's her
Yeah,
name?
Lian. It's
Leah? Leah?
Lian with N in the end,
Oh,
but
Leanne.
she's
Oh, oh, that's so
she's
pretty. That's so
also like
pretty.
Baby Yoda sometimes. She helps
Uh,
me heal with healing, so she's here. Mm.
aw. Yeah, so we have Erin. Erin said hi, and Linda said hi. Hi, everybody. So, for those of you that might not be aware, Veronica has actually recently did a video on a light language video. Actually, it was so magical. It was the best way I can describe it is magical. It was so magical, and it has her beautiful voice. She sang light language through her beautiful voice. She had this beautiful, I cannot pronounce the word, choreography.
Choreography.
Yes, thank you. I
Yeah.
cannot pronounce it. I tried to yesterday too. I couldn't do it. And it was just so beautifully done. And you captured the and even the written light codes, the spoken light codes, everything you put together was so magical. Like, could you tell us more about the idea behind it? Was that your first creation? Like, how did you come up with the idea? What did you do? How did you do it? Tell us more.
Oh, thank you. So actually 10 years ago, I wanted to be an international rock star. So I used to have shows with my band and so on. And once I started this soul healing journey and light language, it like one of the first inspirations which came to me was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. I awaken souls during my readings, but also I want to do this through art. And I found out there are so many talented people on the internet, like you and other like light language healers and speakers. So I wanted to create a video where I will call in more artists. And also I used your codes, which was really beautiful. So I wanted to create experience for awakening souls, for souls to remember that they are here for some purpose. That's why it's called Starseed Awakening. And I wanted to use all those various kinds of light language to make sure that each soul finds at least a little piece of the remembrance of their code, of their essence. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, it was so beautiful, so magical. And
Mm.
how long did it take you to make that?
Well, actually, I was lucky to have my friends from my music career before this soul reader journey started. So I called my producer from my old age and an animator of the video, and like the recording session took one day for the music, and then the producer took some time to create the music behind the drums and strings and everything. I think the actually biggest challenge was the animation part, because I wanted to make sure that codes from you and other light language coders are there, and they have their space, and they really transmit the information which is behind. So yeah, so I guess it could be like 2 or 3 months altogether, but it was just because it was evolvement of things. not that we would sit on it like 10 hours a day, but we just wanted to make sure. So we paid really close attention to making sure it's good quality. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, definitely what it is, good quality. Definitely, you guys achieved it. And that was your first one? Was that your first light language song? Is that how you call it? Song or light language video, or how do you
I
call
think
it?
no, it was like it was, I think, third or fourth,
Ah,
but it was first one like professionally produced, and there was like professionals involved. Otherwise, I am just with my computer and my piano and with Canva doing animations. So it wasn't the first, but yeah. I want to put this on Spotify and everywhere and feel like, oh my God, I am international rock star. Not really, but with light language.
but you totally can. You're probably totally are, right? Yeah, it's definitely, you're definitely international because you are, I'm here in Canada, Toronto, and you were just telling me that you're from Prague.
Yeah, exactly. And it was
Yes.
always my dream to do this, like to talk to people from all around the world and share our message and how we feel about the world. And there are so many stories which are similar to each other. And I know that we all agreed before we came here, we all agreed that we will meet, and that we will do this together. So for me, it's just the definition of bliss to be able to do something like we are doing today.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But could you tell us, go back a little bit, could you tell us how did you actually come into the spirituality? How did you, when was the first time, like how old were you? Like what happened?
I think it started when I was 14, and it's important to say that my parents divorced when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and my life started as a huge suffering. It wasn't like easy divorce. There was a lot of crying and screaming involved. And I when I was growing up, I felt this huge hole within myself, like the big pain and anxiety and depression. So when I turned 14, it just started to weigh down on me, and spirituality was like this small spark of hope that there could be better way of living. So I think it started when my mom brought in first cards, like angel cards and books from Doreen Virtue. And then I was reading all the books from Hay House, right? Like Love Your Life from Louise L. Hay, and all those like conversations with God and stuff. So when I was 16, I started sending light to everyone as a way to heal myself, because I just wanted to heal my big depression. And slowly, month after month, I was healing and clearing and stuff. And I never actually thought that I will be one day doing what I am doing. But for me, it was a way out of the dark night of the soul. So yeah, actually it was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago when I was 28 or 9, when I actually started to feel that I should do this for other people, that I am mature enough and experienced enough to also help others. Until then, I was just doing my McGill job and and not really thinking about like coming out with spirituality to the broader audience. Yeah.
Ah, okay. There's so many questions I have for you, but I might be jumping back and forth. So you mentioned muggle job. What were you doing then before, like, yeah, so what were some of your muggle jobs?
Well, I was in the software industry as a project manager and team coach, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. But the company which I worked for got acquired by another company, and there was also the series of lockdowns. So when there was first lockdown, I was asking myself heavily, okay, what I'm doing in this life, I don't understand this world anymore. I think it was first lockdown when I really actually started thinking about going full-time soul reader. Before then, it was, I never considered that. I was happy with my project manager, high-paying job. I was like, oh my God, I reached level in my family line with my own mortgage and my own dog. For me, it was like the way of pride. And then but it didn't make sense after several years. So that's why I left the job, and I'm doing what I'm doing now.
How long ago was that? How many years? Like how long ago?
Just I think 1 year ago, I started to be just full-time soul reader, and that's it. Before I was half-time doing my job, and then half-time doing soul readings.
Yes, yes. Actually, that's interesting because I think quite a few people actually sort of got awakened, so to speak, around 2020, like around that time frame, 2019, 2020. So which is very, very interesting. So did you actually get into light language around then too, or how was the experience like? How did you actually come across light language?
Um, Wow, I think I've heard about it several years ago, and it was just foreign terms, like some whisper in the air. And 2 years ago, or maybe 2.5, one of my friends, who is also a channel, and she is really connected with angels and so on, she just gave me some energy healing, and she spoke like 10 words in light language. And she was like, oh, this is light language. This is just like something to activate, you know. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, but this will probably never happen to me. I was like, this was so foreign for me to understand. And then I think year after that, nothing really happened. And year after that, I was at some group healing session with Melissa Bates. I don't know if you know her. She does a lot of money stuff, and she just channeled light language for the whole group. And suddenly I could feel some heaviness like lifted from my body. Like some parts of my body said like, okay, fuck it, I will not suffer anymore, and I'm done with that. I'm done with suffering. And it felt so easy and so fast. And after that, I was like, maybe I could do something like that. But for many months, I was ashamed of that. I was like, I wish I was doing that, but I don't really know, and I don't know what is wanted from me. But then I was giving a soul reading to one of my clients, and I actually felt in the middle of me being connected to her Akashic records and not being really conscious, I felt that my soul wants to speak aloud something. And I said her, okay, I feel like I should talk to you in the light language, but I don't know what will come out. And she was like, okay, just try whatever. So I tried to say something, and I could feel her soul totally blossom, and she started crying, and she said like, this sounds like my home. And for me, that was like totally like mind-blowing experience. And since then, I'm using light language in every session. I'm not asking people, I'm just doing it. And I do it with my dog, and I'm talking to trees, and just like I became this completely not crazy, but this full-time light language person. And it's beautiful because I found out there are so many people already there in this crazy little site. So it's a really wonderful experience.
That is so beautiful because you basically essentially self-activated, right? You activated yourself. It just came through. It just totally came through, and you were ready to speak it, and it just literally came through during that session for you, right? Yeah. And I totally understand what she meant when she said, oh, that feels like home. That feels so good, because that was actually my experience too. When I first listened to, heard this someone speaking, but I'm like, what is that? It's not human. It's not a human language. What is it? It feels so good. It feels like home. And I was like getting all teary. I'm like, oh my God, it feels like home. What is it? Yeah, so I can totally relate I can totally relate when you said that's what the lady said to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us, so along the way, what kind of modalities have you picked up along the way? Or what kind of, yeah, sure. What kind of different healing modalities or different things you've picked up along the way?
Well, there were so many of them because I had a lot of shit I had to clear from my system. So I was willing to use anything. So I think that I started with Reiki, then I went to affirmations, then I went to light healing, then I went to like subconscious clearing techniques like NLP, and we have one modality here in Czech Republic which is called Rush method, which means basically like rapid change of the reality, something similar to rapid transformation from Miranda Per, like this this lady who is really famous in Great Britain. I don't know what is her name now. Doesn't matter. So yeah, the many like modalities which were working with my subconscious programs and with my childhood programs. I really needed to get a lot of done. So, but actually it worked. And then I moved to lighter and happier modalities like access consciousness and access bars. And then finally I just found out that I can read souls, and that was it. It wasn't that easy. It started as I could read just one word or one picture, one image, but over the time it evolved, and I opened to the whole stream of information about souls, and I actually wasn't at any like course for doing that. It's just evolved in me naturally with my patience and my work. Yes. So after that, like connection to the souls and creator of all that is, this is my almost like only thing I'm doing right now because I do it all the time. So after that, I am not doing anything, and I just go to take bath, and that's it.
Could you tell us more about what does it mean when you read souls? So what would a person expect in a session with you? Like, what does it mean? Yeah.
I would love to explain it in brief, like some pitch meeting elevator way.
Oh no, don't need to be brief. Just give us the whole thing. Like maybe just explain to us. Yeah, just say if I'm going for a session with you, maybe explain to me what will I expect? Like how would the session be like? What is it about?
Yeah. So usually people come to me when they feel stuck in any situation of their life, like a job or relationship or anything really earthly experience. And I tune to their Akashic records. When I started, I didn't know that it was called Akashic records. I had this feeling that I should connect people with their soul. It was just this repeating feeling of just do it, just connect people with their soul. And I was like, what the fuck I should do? But luckily I had a lot of therapists friends from my therapist circles, and I was like, I asked them to just sit down and to just patiently sit, and I said, I will try something on you, and they were like, okay, whatever. And I imagined that they had like this beautiful soul and source energy within themselves. And I was asking, okay, if they had this energy within themselves, what this energy would like them to know? And this is how it started. And at first I was getting like one image, and I thought, okay, maybe I'm supposed to lead those people to their essence by talking about the image I get when I am talking to them. But after that, when I named the thing I was receiving as truthful and as honestly as possible, I could see that this image it had some relations and some consequences or some like other images relating to this one. So it slowly opened through the highest truth or through this loving feeling of honesty. It opened to like past lives and family lines and soul gifts. And now when I close my eyes, so in short, if you come to my reading and you say, okay, I don't know which job should I take, I close my eyes and I am literally asking the creator to connect me in a highest truth with your soul. And I am translating the messages I'm getting, and they can be about your soul gifts or your past lives or your soul plan, which your soul wishes to do here. And in majority, souls send me such information which help their human to connect with them in a best way possible and to feel like they are really loved and they are on the right path and they are seen and that their gifts matter for this world. So this is what I do.
I love that. I love that. And that is very unique, actually. I haven't come across something like that yet.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have. I don't think I have. That's very unique. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
And
I also, sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
because you were also mentioning various kinds of light language, I wanted to mention that for me, it started as a voice, but I think it's strongly related to what is the soul calling of the person which speaks or signs light language. Because when I activated people here in Czech Republic to light language, wow, for example,
I think she wants to speak. She wants to tell us something.
yeah, it's just like, oh man, just stop speaking, give me some food. For example, massage therapists and doctors, they usually start with signing because it's the most natural gift their soul has. And me as a singer and healer, for me it made sense to start with voice. For you, you are a transmitter for the collective, for the wider audience. So for you, it makes sense that, I don't know, you are doing everything at once. so I feel that, and they are also visual people, right? So they feel very comfortable with downloading codes, but they cannot imagine to speak like language until some point. So I think it also is connected with their calling, and they usually also create cards, or they are designers, or they work with visual insights somehow in their mega job or related field. So yeah, I think it's really connected to your regular human calling.
Yes, yeah, that's fascinating. That's really fascinating. So would you say that actually maybe you can just tell us, what do you feel your strongest clairs are? And how did you discover that? Like what happened? Like how old were you maybe?
And what do you mean clears?
Oh, clairs as in clairvoyance, as in seeing.
Oh, okay.
Clairs, yeah.
Clairs. Okay, I have to remember the word. Well, I think the strongest is seeing with my heart, because this is the way I translate the soul language. When I listen to the soul, the only way I can tune to the soul energy is through the pure love. Otherwise, I wouldn't see anything. So for me, it's my willingness to open to the highest energy of love I'm able to open, and I receive information through this energy. So, and I could feel at the beginning when I was starting with soul readings that my heart muscle was actually aching after 4 sessions or so. I felt like my heart is like, oh, that was too much today. And I was like, sorry, my heart, okay, tomorrow less people.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I also think that this is like the heart area is the way that we translate light language. Some of us, when the light language activators, when you try to understand what other people are saying in light language, it's very easy to translate it through heart, but it requires, you know, some practice and allowing and being able to trust yourself that what you are getting is actually real. So yes.
I love that explanation because you actually said you're seeing through your heart. I think usually I hear what the way people describe it is they'll say, I feel through the heart. This is also the first time I hear people like the description of seeing through the heart, and that your heart ached after you did a few people, like after a few sessions. It almost sounds like your muscle, like, you know, when you're doing a lot of exercise, you're like, oh, I'm so tired. My muscles are tired. It sounds like, yeah, because you're exercising the heart when you are doing the sessions, you know, because you're seeing through the heart, that it's kind of, you know, kind of going, okay, I'm so tired now. Yeah, I love that. I love that explanation. Yeah, that's cool. That's really, really cool.
And thank you for asking, because I didn't realize until today that I'm actually reading this way. I thought just okay, I will tune to this loving energy and that's it. But when you asked me, I was actually thinking about my senses, like what do I actually do during the reading? And it's really when I want to see some past life and in you know, in a really clear way and in a really loving and compassionate way, then I really have to open my heart to the stream of love. And that's, for me, there is no other way of doing this. So I'm not sure how other people are doing it. Maybe they are just talented and they have their heart in their ears. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, so I'm going to jump back a little bit. So you mentioned a couple of times that you had a band and you also a singer. And so when did that happen? How did that come about? Because you also had the muggle job of being a project manager, right, at a firm. So you're literally multi-talented, like multi-talented. So yeah, tell us more about the singing aspect and the band, like how, when did that come about?
Well, yeah, so before going to the software company, I wanted to be international rock star. So when I was studying at the university, I had just a little band, and I was composing English songs. I really loved Coldplay, so I wanted to create those pop rock or pop music songs. And then after I finished university, I went to United States for 6 months, and I thought, like, okay, my life starts now. And then I found out that it was illusion. I was there, and I felt like, okay, I'm here, I'm meeting amazing people, but still the main job is on me, like, you know, creating connections and singing on stages. And plus I would have to have much more money to start something really serious over there. So then I came back, and I was thinking that anyway, people loved me singing in Czech the most, even in the United States. When they heard me singing in my natural language, they were like, oh, this is much better. So I started a band here. I was like 26. It was later in life. And I actually quite fast, I think in 3 years we were not like super famous, but we were touring. We had shows around Czech Republic, and it was beautiful. And I have some music videos on YouTube from back then, and my main song was called "Girl, You Should Get Married," because it was for women in their 30s, you know, who and their grandmothers saying this all the time. And then suddenly, before even like a year before Corona, my inspiration stopped, and I just didn't get any new songs. I was like sitting and with my notebook, and I was asking, okay, where is another lyrics? And they were like, there was quiet. And I was already on this verge of fame when I was starting getting offers from famous people here. And it was really strange because I was like, I am on the verge of something, and I don't feel any lead, any inspiration, any calling over there. And then Corona started, and like everything stopped. Like the music industry stopped completely, and all the clubs and small festivals, like they went into bankrupt, and that nothing was happening. So it was back then when I was talking to one of the top managers for bands here in Czech Republic, like one of the guys I was really looking up to. And he said, like, Veronika, you should ask yourself what feels really authentic for you. Just give yourself a week and be 100% honest with yourself, like what you are doing, what you want to do. And this really, I was so like, it had a huge impact on me, because I had to admit to myself that music isn't actually the top energy I want to do in my life. And it's the spiritual calling, which I didn't know what it really was back then. So I was really confused. But I was also, after that, I was happy, because this is how my soul reading journey started. And this question, like, what is the highest truth for you? It's the thing which is with me since then, and it will be with me forever, probably. So, yes.
Yeah, like so many questions just come to my mind as you were telling us the story. Yeah, because well, what I wanted to, like, there's so many questions that now I'm like drawing blank. Um, because I'm also looking at the timeline that you just mentioned. And because it seems like you were a singer and you also wrote your own lyrics.
Yeah.
And music. You did both. Yeah, and you sang it. Wow, you're like, honestly, you're so talented. And you sang it. Okay. So you did all that. So you had that first. But you know what? That essentially, like, lots of music are uplifting people.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
So, yeah, so even though you think you're not, it's not spiritual, whatever, but in another way, it truly is. You're uplifting the humanity, you're uplifting the vibration of people in a different way, in a non-traditional, well, like in a non, like way where you would not say that's spiritual. You know what I mean? But you were
Yeah.
still doing it. It sounds like you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating that you were into music, and then you actually became like very more analytical job, which is the project manager job in a software program. You were saying software? Yeah, it's like so hardcore analytical job. And then you became spiritual, like pivoted towards the spirituality side.
Yeah.
How are your friends, family, the people around you, how are they reacting to it? Do you have a lot of support? Like, are there a lot of people that are doing what you're doing? Or like, what was their reaction when you told them, hi, that's what I'm planning to do?
Yeah, so my father is a scientist, and he also used to teach music composing. So he has this big brain
Wow.
full of information.
Yeah.
I think I inherited just half of each part, because I suck at mathematics and physics, and from the like really serious music composition, I do just pop music. But I mean, he just probably gave me this bipolar brain. But he was also, he how to say it, he's a really analytical person. But when I went to software company, they didn't look for somebody analytical. They were looking for project manager who can work with creative people, because they were looking for somebody who would take care of design team. So I was more like translator from analytical part of the business to creative part of the business. And I think this is what I'm still doing. Like I'm on this verge between I'm trying to name the soul energy in analytical words. So I'm still in the middle of those energies. But how about the people? Well, some of them just, stopped being my friends on Facebook, and and the others, I guess it just all happened so naturally during Corona that I think it happened for everyone, that you stayed in touch just with people which actually mattered to you and who were really close friends and not just friends out of nothing, so I think the majority of people took it well, and the ones who didn't, they just, I don't know, I've never met them probably because I guess that Facebook was that kind that he just lowered the algorithm and I stopped showing and irritating them on their wall, and it just happened like this. Yeah. And my mom is a psychologist, so she's very okay with that. At first she was a little bit like, because she had so many schools and she had 2 universities, so she could do the psychology work, and suddenly I was there just, okay, I'm doing soul readings, I don't have any school for that, and just people come to me and I charge money. And then she was like, oh, it doesn't sound really fair. And I was like, yeah, I know. I had to clear it too. I had to accept that I'm going to charge more than my mom for, not really as much work as she's doing. So yes. It was the journey, but now we are creating workshop together, so it's okay, but it was a journey.
Oh, your mom and you are creating workshops together.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so nice that you're able to work with her like that. Yeah.
But we had such a difficult family baggage, so we had both really work through it to be able to now do this work. Otherwise her mom, like my grandma, she's like she's a teacher, if I can say it in a nice way. She is not really, mentally okay. And when my mom was little, my grandma, she kept telling her that my mom wishes her to die because, she's not really okay. But back then, nobody knows that it was mental illness. Everybody just accepted my grandma that she's like a little bit evil, a little bit mean, and my mom grew up in an environment without real mother support, so she tried to give me as much love as possible, but I had to clear a lot of baggage, feeling like this feeling of I don't deserve love, I don't deserve support. It like went through generation to generation, and I had to stop it within me, like I am not doing this pattern anymore, and I can still feel like that something is still there, but we are both working on that. Yes.
Yeah, that is incredibly amazing. That just shows so much strength, right, within you to be able to not keep yourself in the victim mentality, right? Get yourself out of it, of the victim mentality, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do something about this. I am going to heal myself, right? And I can do it, right? And you did, right? And look how incredible you are currently. And you are only like, you're so young. You're still so super young. You probably just barely started your journey. Like you're so young. Yeah, that is truly incredible. But before we start with the collective healing, like what we usually do, could you tell us, do you have any events that you would like to share, or how can people reach you if they would like to have a soul reading and they would like your help?
Yeah, so I created my first English speaking event for 4th April, which is called The Key to Your Soul, when I will channel about the soul gifts and what people have as their soul gifts and soul plan. So it will be on 4th April. And that's probably that for now for in English, but otherwise I am doing my soul reading sessions every day. So if somebody wishes to connect more with their soul and feel their gifts, their soul gifts, I am just write me. I will schedule some sessions over Zoom and it will be beautiful, and yes, I will be honored.
And the best way to reach you, because you do have a website, I believe, which I included, right? On the,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the best way to reach you is through the website or just through Facebook Messenger, maybe? Would that be okay
Yeah.
as well? Or
Yes, of course, both work well for me, and I like talking to people. So if people just regularly write me like, "Hey, I saw you there on this podcast," and and I wanted to know something about soul reading, I will just tell whatever. It's all right.
okay. And on April 4th, where is the event taking place?
I think I should. It's on Zoom, and I didn't share the link to this event yet, but I can share it afterwards to comment.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. Yeah, sure. We'd love that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's too bad that we are, because this interview is so interesting. I would have so much more questions for you. But we're going to get ready for the collective healing. And actually, before we start that, I'm just going to mention that on my end, on this Thursday, I was going to say April, but it's really March. We're still in March. This Thursday, March the 30th, I have an event with Alex at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So it'll be a reading, clearing, and activation. So whoever that is interested, we love to have you. And the information is in the group, in the light language and light codes group at the very top feature section. So if you're interested, just click on it and we'd love to have you. It'll be Facebook Live. And yeah, so if everyone is ready to receive a collective healing, please sit back, relax, and Veronica will start first, and I will cap off as usual.
Okay, thank you very much. And before we start, I just wanted to thank you in a huge way for this opportunity to being able to talk about it and to connect with you and your amazing group. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will first ask the beings of light and creator of all that is to kindly connect me with souls of everyone who is present on this call now or in the future. Yeah, and I'm asking for light language transition for the highest good of you guys, for your life, for your being, and for seeing your true worth and true light in this world. Kia shorak ata kia la kia mata kia shanak ea tukuru tia kiumaraki e tia piumata kishia tumana hearaki sahaya makia rutuna kia na kia rashasak ata kara komata mahaya rania tokia tasha sana tea kia la shuna na lahia marakyut kurashasaki lahaya makia ta kia rashasak arat kuru kut karakit karamat kia takasiata. Yes. So I just what I was getting from this group, that I could hear the Pleiadians saying like, finally we are doing the same stuff as we did upstairs in the previous incarnation, in the life before this life. So it feels like a reunion.
Nice, nice, very, very nice. Thank you. Ratata ratata chikaditi tata trototo ratata 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 chikaditi ratata ratata. Pita roto to roto to roto to rotata paratata chikaditi tata rotata ratata chikaditi tata roto to roto ratata chikaditi ratata. Bata ratata 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 chikaditi tata roto ratata ratata chikaditi tata roto ratata ratata roto. Pita rata chikadita rata rata chikaditi tata rota rata 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 chikaditi parata rata chikadita. Pito roro 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 rata rata chikaditi tata chikadita tata chikadita tata chikadita parata chikadita. Pita rata rota chikadita rata chikaditi tata rata chikaditi parata chikaditi parata chikadita parota rata chikadito. Pito ro 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 chikaditi tarata 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 chikaditi tarata 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 chikadita tarata tarata chikadito ro ro ro. Pita rata tarata rata tarata rata chikadita rata chikadita rota rata chikadita tarata rata tarata chikadita rata tarata rata. Pito ro rata rata chikadita tarata rata tarata chikadita tarata tarata chikadita tarata chikadita rata. I'm being called to bring in some remembrance codes for everybody.
Siku Sameni gyotesu Lameni tokyesa Mureshi kyo mano tare manorasi lameto siamana kieta more kyashina sotimu Lamana setu kimone seklu. Takala kia mata kala tushu sana kia ama ka ara katia kama nunkulata na shisi komate sukorak iya matu kurushia la yamana korea tuna yamashaski na karate atu kunmaya la siak yamato kurushi sik iya mata kia la takasha sia karaki na hayara ne yamoto ko kulutushu sana kia mata kia tia shanaka matala kia tukuru kataka siatu. So I'm just asking the energy which doesn't belong to you anymore, the heavy emotional baggage which you could hold from the previous experiences, please may it be lifted to the source, back to the source, and may you feel the pure divine essence that you are. Kiyashu sama kata kata kumaya shanaki. Muse lakyashi sote mohore kyamanate kishunate sakyame lasamane sakyamane. Mekyoshi Sukyame Nanushi More Yamanare Samunura Sakyara Tushi Monakyotena Samenori Kyashu Sama Omenu Saketu Shimunu Kyaru. Ashuru kia tukawasha kia matukuru te kia mala nane kia tara kia tala shisia kia matukura kia tara shi kia mata kia lana manaya matukuru tashi kia ta. So I feel that we are both helping to activate the quantum codes of healing and manifestation of the true, joyful, happy and fulfilled self for everyone who is listening. Mm. Very nice. It feels very peaceful now.
That was beautiful. When you were singing, I can feel my heart responding to it. That was just so, so, so beautiful.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
I could feel some heavy cloud lifted from, I don't know who experienced it, from people who were listening now or in the future, but I could feel that we really lifted some heavy energy from somebody. I don't know. Let's
Yes,
see.
yes. Yeah, it was so nice. Rachel said, your singing was beautiful and felt at home. I don't know if that makes sense. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, that makes total sense, Rachel. I know what you mean. Yeah, because my heart was responding. I can't explain it in human, but yeah, I can feel my heart reaching out, going, oh, yeah, yeah. It
Oh,
was really really nice. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay,
Hmm.
this I really really enjoyed this. Thank you so much again, Veronica, for being here with us.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for joining us. And we loved hanging out with all of you.
Mm.
And hopefully come on back. And we'd love to have you again soon. And Veronica, is there something else we'd like to say before you hop off? Before we hop off?
Like really thank you for being able to do this and to meet you and to meet your group and being able to express myself in this way, which feels really natural, not very much in this world, but here it felt like at home. Yeah.
Yes. I just want to say, I'm sure you know this already, but your English is amazing. Like you're you're totally from Czech Republic, but your English is so good.
Oh,
So, so
thank
very
you.
good. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I am really glad. I was hoping that I will be able to express everything, but so I'm. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, no, it's really good, really good. Okay. Thank you everyone. Okay, thank you, Veronica. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Okay.
think I think that's good. Let me double check.
It looks like it's okay.
Yeah, it looks good, right? Okay, I'll stop recording.